We will now move on to our information items. Are there any committee or organization reports for this evening? I believe there are some already in the packet for your review. For the good of the cause, we'll start this out with our student representative, Michelle Moore.
Hey everyone. So a lot of the energy right now at the high school is going towards midterms. It's like a wave of stress. Everyone is putting their souls into getting ready for it, and it's going to be totally worth it because at the end of midterms week, we have something called, the week after following on February 4th and 5th, we have something called Faculty Follies. Now traditionally, students perform on stage at the high school, and everyone comes to watch the students on stage and do performances. But Faculty Follies is different. It's definitely against the current because the faculty of East Brunswick High School will be putting on the show. This is such a special event because it's much like a meteor shower, and I'll explain why. Faculty Follies only happens once every 3 years, so it's a lot like a meteor shower where everyone comes out to watch it because it only happens once in a while, and they all come out to watch it at night, and it's very special. So I have never seen a Faculty Folly show because, of course, it only happens once every 3 years, so I'm very excited. And they even had to make it 2 nights, so it's going to be the same exact show 2 nights because they are predicting that we're going to fill the entire auditorium for both nights, and we want everyone to have the opportunity to see it, including you guys. I totally suggest you come see this. Check it out. I hear that the lineup is going to include bands made by the teachers, some comedy sketches, and some dancing, things like that. I'm excited. I can't wait.
What are the nights again, Mike?
It is February 4th and 5th. I think it starts at 7, I think.
Do they sell tickets?
Yes, they do, in advance. I'm not sure when the tickets go on sale, but you could also buy them at the door. I definitely suggest everyone comes out. If anyone's listening to this right now, come to Faculty Follies. You will not be disappointed. Thank you.
Thank you. Does that go on the district calendar too?
I think it's on the school calendar, that's for
school?
sure, on the high school calendar. I believe one of your board members actually participated in that event when he was a staff member.
Is there a tape? Kevin, would you care to give us
No comment right now.
Such folly.
Is there a video? It's gotta be a video.
YouTube?
Are there any other items for good of the cause this evening? Okay.
Just note that after closed session, there's an action item.
Okay, we will have an action. Folly? Sorry, didn't see it. Mr. McAvoy.
We got our own follies right here.
Special recognition to Mrs. Joan Hickman up at the high school, who was recognized by the Middlesex County Education Association as the Staff Support Employee of the Year. I went up to the high school to congratulate Mrs. Hickman on the fact that she will be retiring at the end of the school year, and she brought it to my attention. So I wanted to see her face to face because of our long-standing relationship, and as she said, it was just such a sweet thing, icing on the cake as she gets ready for retirement, that the county recognized her for all of her hard work. Thank you, Dr. Cohen.
Thank you. Just one small point, and that's back to the Hatikva charter school issue. We did have an opportunity to meet with our representatives, Senator Barnes, Assemblywoman Pinkin, and Assemblyman Dignan, and they are actively involved in helping support our position on the Hatikva expansion. But the one underlying theme, which was the same last year as it was again this year, is that besides supporting us, the ability to convince the decision makers, which is the Department of Education, would be so much better bolstered if there were members of the public who actually either wrote or called those individuals, because it would actually display for them the unrest and disappointment this community has in trying to support and pay for an expansion that we as your representatives do not believe is in your best interest. So for those who share that same thought, I encourage you to take the opportunity to call them. They are your representatives, and your voice does really matter. So please do that. There is a, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Simmons.
Yeah, I'm just noticing here, we may well have to revisit this calendar because the one that we have here, I don't think, just double check, doesn't contain any of the progress report, marking period, or report card dates on there, and I think that's part of the calendar. We're going to have to vote on that at some point. They're not in here.
We typically, Mr. Timmons, we typically approve the calendar and then we plug those in after the fact.
I don't think so. No, every calendar's had those in. Every other draft of this has had those in, and we approve those as dates. We've historically done that. They're not here, and they're part of the calendar, so we're going to have to address that at
So
some
that's something
point.
that the board votes on?
It is. It's part of the calendar.
They're adjusted.
They're not adjusted ever. They're part of the calendar, Mrs. Howard. So just letting you know, at some point, we're going to have to look at them. They were on every other draft, for some reason not on this one. I'm just looking at that now.
The board, under law, the board has the right, managerial prerogative to set the calendar. So you set the calendar, there's no reason why you guys can't come back at a future date once you have input from the staff as to when you're going to do marking periods, et cetera, and just note that. I think the more important thing, what you said, is the longer you put this off, you're going to put in jeopardy the graduation date and securing that facility. And as you know, just so we're clear, Izod Center closed. Up in North Jersey, it's like a disaster. So there's now one place in North Jersey, Presidential Center, and now you have one in Trenton. So graduation is going to become much more difficult to secure facilities because you lost a big venue in North Jersey. And a lot of folks from Central Jersey would go up to Izod. I don't think there's any problem with you guys coming back and announcing when it would be, and then you guys could take a vote on when the marking periods or progress reports are going to be within the calendar. You set the calendar, beginning, end, and the breaks, and I think that's not legally a problem for you to come back and amend that portion of it if you guys so choose.
Well, that's fine. Then this sets as stands.
Yeah, you could do this, and then Dr. Valesky comes back to you and says, this is on the adopted calendar, these will be the dates. The board will then take a vote on the dates of the marking
Because essentially
period.
what you're asking to do doesn't change any of the things that
It
we
doesn't
were
change
talking
the
about
dates,
this
it just-
evening and
it-
voted on.
Correct, it just will lay out when you're going to have the marking period, end dates, midterm or progress reports, and you can do that at a subsequent meeting.
Okay. We do have the need this evening for a closed session, so I'd like to move that the Board of Education approve the following resolution. Whereas the Board of Education must discuss matters which are not appropriate for discussion in a public meeting, and whereas these subjects are within the exceptions of the Open Public Meetings Act and are permitted to be discussed in private session pursuant to NJSA 10412B, and whereas this Board of Education intends to discuss the following matters. Any matter involving the purchase, lease, or acquisition of real property with public funds, the setting of banking rates or investment of public funds which could adversely affect the public interest, specifically the following matter, property lease acquisition, and any pending or anticipated litigation or contract negotiation other than any matter involving a collective bargaining agreement or proposals for inclusion in such, in which the Board of Education is or may become party, or any matter falling within the attorney-client privilege, specifically the following matter, New Jersey Schools Insurance Group Claim Number 13EO02028D regarding TB New Jersey Schools Insurance Group Claim Number 13E00323D regarding employee EEOC complaint, CC and MV, BC versus East Brunswick Board of Education. Now therefore be it resolved that the aforesaid subject shall be discussed in closed session by this Board of Education and administrative staff, and the minutes of the said closed session will be made available to the public when the reasons for the non-disclosure in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act no longer exists.
So moved.
Ms. Becker? Mrs. Howard, any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? And abstentions? We'll be back for item A7 after closed session.
I have no idea.
Good evening, everyone.